Hey, friends. Malika here from Malika Semper Astrology. And this week, I want to talk about something that's been building, Sun square Neptune. We've been feeling the build of this. It's going to be exact midweek. It's going to be exact. Let me look at the chart here. Wednesday, December 18th at 6:28 a.m. Pacific. However, we've been feeling this building since last week. It's going to stick around till right about December 27th. So it's here with us for a good chunk of days, okay? About a week and a half through Christmas for sure. So when the sun is receiving a square from Neptune, couple things. First of all, we're going to be extra sensitive. So we're feeling the sensitivity. Neptune dissolves boundaries. So Neptune comes in and just opens up our hearts. So we're feeling more sensitive. We have the capacity for forgiveness, for unconditional love, for compassion, for empathy. We can really put ourselves in another person's pair of shoes and feel what they're feeling. We can empathize with them. So there's that. But here's the other thing. We feel other people so much and so deeply that it lives in us and it affects us. It affects our own mood. Sun squaring Neptune, it's the idea of, you're going along, you're having a great day, but your partner's in a bad mood, or your best friend is in a sad mood, or so on and so forth. And suddenly you take that on. So the challenge of this is to not take on other people's emotional baggage, emotional stuff, emotional story. There's a tendency to take it on. And then we get bombarded with everything. We can feel overwhelmed when the sun squares Neptune. We can feel more tired when the sun squares Neptune because it could be an energetic leak, sort of a feeling. The medicine for this that can come in is introspection, stillness, moving into your spiritual practices when the sun squares Neptune is beautiful medicine. So it really is about removing yourself from the busyness or the loudness of life or other people or the crowd or the party and coming back and doing your inner work, your spiritual practices, meditation, prayer, thoughtfulness, mindfulness, any sort of mindful practices, being outside in nature, that could be a meditation in and of itself, prayer in and of itself, like being among nature, feeling your feet on the ground. We're doing a lot of grounding practices throughout this. That will really help us too. There's a floaty feeling when the sun squares Neptune. We can be more forgetful, we can be more scattered. We are definitely not linear. We're going to be late to the gathering, late to the party, because what is time? What is time anyway when the sun squares Neptune? So we have to work a little bit harder at doing the tangible, responsible, earthly things because we're floating, because we're dreamy, because we're spiritual, we're creative. We love everyone. We feel everything when the sun squares Neptune. Make sure it's not to the detriment of the self. Make sure that you recognize where you end and the other person begins. There's a tendency to merge and lose the self or forget the self or think, who am I anyway? And we ask for containers to pour ourselves into so that we can take form. Know your own container when the sun squares Neptune. Easier said than done. So compassion, spirituality, forgiveness is all at our fingertips, but we don't want to take on other people's stuff because we are these wide open vessels. So learning learning boundaries, protecting the self energetically, and the whole while doing it through the eyes of love. We're going to be in this for a while, this week, going into the end of next week. Good luck out there, and I'll be back the following week.